Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Your Mark on the World show. I'm your host, Devin Thorpe, and our guest today is Lisa Tomasi. She's the CEO and founder of YouGiveGoods. Lisa, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be with you today.
Well, we're thrilled to have you, Lisa. Tell us a little bit about YouGiveGoods. Give us a quick overview.
YouGiveGoods is an online products giving platform where individuals and organizations can come and they can hold online drives to collect new products for their favorite charities. So think about food drives and toy drives, things where you've normally seen a collection bucket. Think about those drives without the bucket and without all the driving around.
Yeah, so it's sort of crowdfunding for stuff instead of crowdfunding for money.
Absolutely.
Wow, very cool, very cool. So how did this get started? What led you to this idea, and when did it happen? And give us kind of that founder story.
Well, my founder's story does go back to probably 2010. My husband and I had been involved with some relief work, the tsunami in Indonesia, and then we also had friends who did relief work after the earthquake in Haiti at that time. And there were a lot of relief workers down in Haiti doing what they do best, and certainly there were a lot of people donating money, but our friends were down there and they were saying, we're here with no supplies. We don't have flashlights, we don't have batteries, we don't have mosquito netting. And I'm like, all right, how do we get you guys what you need? And certainly what we found in that situation was it was incredibly difficult. I mean, it was a third world country, it was a disaster, but what we also found is it was not that easy to do here in the United States. And that was really that aha moment. I shop online, I buy my stuff online. Why can't I shop online for the products that my nonprofit needs? And that was the beginning of this journey. We launched a company in 2010 based on getting products to nonprofits.
What were some of the first projects you tackled with the new business?
Certainly the first one we did was a traditional food drive, because I don't know, we've all seen that bucket of food all over the place that's either just sitting there. I don't know if it got there. I don't know who received it. Lots of good intentions, lots of good people, but it just, I see them all the time. So certainly the idea to do the food drive online, purchase the food, all the food would be first quality, no dented cans, nothing that was expired. You would purchase it online and it would go directly to the hunger organization you wanted to support. So that was the first kind of product vertical we talked about.
And it's grown since then. What's the range of products that you offer now?
Well, the needs of the nonprofits are exorbitant. So we've been adding more and more products based on their needs since we started in 2011. So certainly right now we're coming into the end of the year. We're stocked full of toys for toy drives, and we're stocked full of food for holiday food drives. And we just finished school supplies drives for back to school. And we certainly do all the supplies for military organizations, the personal care. We do shelters with pillows and blankets. We're really trying to listen to what our nonprofit partners say, and if there's a need, we have the flexibility within the technology to get it on the system and make it purchasable for their supporters.
Now, you don't charge your nonprofits or the donors any money as a fee for the service. So you're baking that into your margins. The question I'd ask then is, are your prices comparable to what you get at the grocery store or Walmart or Amazon? How do your prices compare?
We're really proud of this retail model that we have, and I'm so happy that I can offer this service to the nonprofits for no fees at all. You don't have to join my group. The products show up at the nonprofit, and for the drive starters, there's never a fee to start the drives because I want you to start as many as possible. But I also want the donor to be really comfortable with what they're doing. So we consider ourselves comparable to any other retailer, not a big box, not a whole, not a Sam's Club, but any other retailer out there, online retailer. We work very hard to make sure that our prices are comparable.
That's great. And give us a sense of the scale of your success. How much, what's the volume? I know you've grown dramatically over the years, but give us a sense of where you are now.
You know, well, we're certainly, you know, every year we outperform the year before, and we're certainly on targets to deliver tens of thousands of food and supplies, and certainly toys become very important to us at this time of year. One of my favorite stories that I just like to talk about the power of kind of that crowdfunding, is that we had an employee from a company, Meritain Health in Michigan, who wanted to do a water drive for the people of Flint, Michigan, because they could not get the clean water because of their water crisis. She wanted to collect it in her office through her friends, and she found out that she had a lot of support, and it was almost too big for her to handle, so she came to us because she knew of us. We set this drive up online. She put the number of bottles of water that she wanted to raise at 500, and people came on and bought those 500 bottles in less than 24 hours, and she called us up and said, can I raise the amount that I want to raise? I said, absolutely. She said, can we include other offices? And I said, absolutely. She ended up at the end of this drive with a national drive with all the Aetna offices participating, all of them donating. We had 80,000 bottles of water go to Flint, Michigan, based on this one woman's advocacy to getting water there.
That's really amazing. Really an inspiring story. So, Lisa, as you look at what you've accomplished, certainly you have become a role model to countless people who admire you and the people that you've helped. Who do you look up to as a role model? Who inspires you?
That's a hard, there are so many, but I will tell you there is one story that appeals to me a lot, and it is the story of the founding of Tom Shoes and their entrepreneur, Blake Mykoski, I think I said his name right. The story of this guy who goes on a vacation because he needs to relax, and he comes across kids who need shoes, and he could have just donated a pair of shoes. He could have got his friends to donate, but what he walked away with was his idea to create a company that wasn't reliant on donations, that was self-sufficient, and that this one-for-one model where if you bought a shoe, he would give a shoe. And I really think he was at the forefront of social entrepreneurship, and it showed you how many people would buy that product. And I love that story, and I think it shows the market for people who will support something like that. So I look at his story often when I'm doing what I do at YouGiveGoods.
Well, it is a great story, and he did popularize social entrepreneurship in a way that no one had before, and a great role model. Lisa, as you know, as you experienced the startup of your business and the circumstances that led to it, a lot of people have sort of been through similar things and didn't start a business, didn't do anything grand to make a difference in the world. Why did you feel so personally compelled, so personally responsible to make this happen?
Why did I feel personally compelled? You know, I think it's just part of who we are. You know, you see something and you know you can make a difference, and I knew I could do it. And I think that was instilled in me very young, that kind of I can do it attitude. And I encourage everybody out there to kind of tap into that and not be afraid of a big project. You know, a big project is a lot of little projects along the way. And I would encourage people to not be afraid of those big projects because there are tremendous rewards for all the work that goes into it.
Yeah. Well, boy, that's a great response. Lisa, as we like to ask all of our guests for an impact hack, some tip that would help us to do more good in the world. What's your impact hack?
Well, it's kind of similar to what we just talked about. I would say don't get stuck in the I'm too busy or I don't have the time, because there's never a good time. There's never a good time for anything. If you wait for the right time, you will be waiting. So when that comes to volunteering or giving back, the I'm too busy, you know, take a step back and say, how can I fit it into my life? And I would leave you with this. We're at this great point in time where companies are really embracing employee engagement and volunteering. If you're working a lot, approach your employer. Do they have a volunteering opportunity for you? If they don't, you could bring it up to them and say, you know, you're interested. I bet you're not the only one. So although we're all crunched for time, there are ways to get it done, and I would encourage everybody to go out and do it. It makes a huge difference, and it's very rewarding.
Boy, I'm sure it has been for you. The difference you made in countless lives over the years, I congratulate you for that and appreciate you sharing that insight, because I think that is a powerful insight, that there's never a good time. We just need to do it now. I really want to thank you, Lisa, for taking the time to be with us today. Before you go, would you take just a minute and tell people how they can learn more about YouGiveGoods and how they can connect with you personally?
Well, I'd love them to come to the site. So come visit us at yougivegoods.com and see what we're all about. There's an explore button. You can see all the drives that we're working on right now. And if one appeals to you, participate. And if it doesn't appeal to you, hit the start a drive process, and you'll be prompted to fill in some information. You can start your own drive. If that doesn't appeal to you, send me an email. Send an email to inquiry@YouGiveGoods. You'll always get a response. And of course, Facebook and Twitter, follow us, be part of our giving community. Reach out to me personally at Twitter, Lisa Tomasi. Love to hear from you. We have a lot of great people working together. The more the merrier. So check us out.
Fantastic. Well, Lisa, thank you very much for being with us today. We wish you every success in your effort to give goods.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure.
All righty. Thank you. Let's do some good.